Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I am a Western astrologer, and I think I'm becoming a twin flame messenger. I get these downloads about the twin flame journey, what it is, why it is, and then I'm prompted to share them on YouTube. So as I get them, I share them. It's not necessarily something that I intended to do, but here we are. This particular download has to do with giving the divine feminine an understanding of the behaviors that she sees her divine masculine uh, indulge that she may consider toxic. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to use divine feminine and divine masculine as her and him. But if you're in a same-sex relationship, um, as two women or two men, take whichever applies to you in the way that it applies to you. I've heard that some twin flames can, at different points in their relationship, switch roles. One can step into divine masculine energy, the other can step into divine feminine energy. I don't know anything about that. All I know is what I was given about specifically the toxicity created through some of the divine masculine choices. And that's what I'm about to explain in this video today. So this channeling was received after watching a video that one of the talented tarot readers on YouTube does. His name is Jason. He's from Ray of Light Tarot. And I'm going to show you that video clip that he shared, because it's very powerful to get you grounded in the way that the download came into me. I'm basically giving you exactly what I got as it was given to me. So let me show you that first.
So really briefly, in the tarot, we'll just talk about the first three cards of the major arcana. I'll go into that for you, Kristen, and for everyone here. I think I talked about this the other night with in the Q&A, but I will touch on it again. Where's the Fool card? It starts with the Fool card. You guys know the Fool card is the number 0 card in the major arcana, right? So when I found out about the twin flame journey, it was after I had sort of had an awakening and was going through the dark night of the soul, and I was trying to understand why you would have a soulmate come into your life, or whatever whatever a soulmate is, and why it would just blow up and they would go away. And that's when I stumbled upon this twin flame thing. I also stumbled upon tarot because it was somewhat in my consciousness, but because of my dad's sister doing tarot when I was younger, but I didn't understand it much. And what's so interesting is, for me, it was just a confirmation that as I learned about the twin journey and tarot, I didn't make the connection at the time, but the connection is there. Hidden inside the tarot, from which I believe comes from ancient Egypt, there are differing beliefs about where tarot actually comes from. But hidden inside the major arcana of tarot is the twin journey. And the twin prophecy, the twin soul prophecy, which is that twin souls would come into contact in the physical world in their last lifetimes, because those last lifetimes would happen just as the earth was transitioning into the new earth, which is happening right now, according to a lot of things. According to Dolores Cannon, she discovered that through hypnotherapy and started doing quantum healing hypnosis therapy. But what the twin soul representation is all throughout the major arcana, but especially in the first three cards of the major arcana: the number 0 card, number 1 card, and the number 2 card. Number 0 card, the Fool card. In love readings, you'll hear people say, this represents someone wanting to take a leap of faith, right? Well, what it actually is here, the Fool card, what it is, guys, it's the number 0 card, because the Fool card represents nothingness. It's the human soul. This card represents our soul before it takes on human form. It's ready to take that leap off the cliff and manifest into human form, but it hasn't yet. It's all hope, no manifestation. It's the zero card. It's nothingness. It's zero, right? So then the next two cards, the number 1 and 2 cards, are the human soul when it splits and takes human form. The twin souls take form. This is the soul splitting into two and taking human form in the number 1 and 2 card. Number 1 is the magician, representing the divine masculine, and the number 2 is the high priestess, representing the divine feminine. I don't know, a lot of people seem to not know about this. But yeah, I researched this a lot, and I was amazed because for me, when I learned about this, I was like, wow, what a confirmation about twin flames that I already knew about. So if you look at these two cards, it really is a representation of the divine masculine and feminine and their powers. So the divine masculine's power is in his manifestation ability, in his strength, right? He's got the as above, so below sign that he's making, and he's got the scroll, the Holy Torah, which is the holy book of Israel, in his hand, rolled up. Do you know why it's rolled up in his hand? Because even though he has the power contained in that scroll, he doesn't have the wisdom. The wisdom is held by the divine feminine. He has the power and the ability to make things happen. That's why he's got all the tools on his table. He's action oriented. His strength is to make things happen in the physical realm. That's the strength of the divine masculine. He's the number 1 card. Conversely, the number 2 card is the divine feminine, the high priestess. So where is her strength? It's not in power or in making things happen or in action. She's sitting down. She's not standing at a table making things happen. She's sitting down in her throne, and she's connected to source. Her connection is to God, to source. So she has that scroll also that he's holding, but look what she's got. It. See, it says Torah. It's unrolled, and it's sitting in her lap. Why? Because she has the wisdom. She understands the words, guys. She has the inner knowing. So her strength, whereas his strength lies in, as the divine masculine, his strength lies in the actual action and getting things done. Her strength lies in the knowing, the wisdom, the emotion, the feeling. So many of you who are tarot readers or have strong intuition will get this card as your card. And it also, besides just representing that you have a strong intuition, it represents that you are the divine feminine in your relationship. So that's what these two things are. Also, the last card in the major arcana. Do you guys know what the last card of the major arcana is? I'm sure somebody knows. What's the last card in the major arcana? It's card number 33, I believe. I don't know what the J and B stand for. I've heard, but I can't remember. The world, right? The world card. Here it is, card number 21. Do you know why the world card is the last card in the major arcana and what it has to do with the twin soul prophecy? Does anyone know? It's a lot about what Dolores Cannon talks about, what she learned from quantum, well, yes, just like the high priestess represents intuition, the world card represents change and a new cycle. I'm talking about the actual meanings on a deeper level and on what's happening in the world and the prophecy. The world card represents ascension, right? The new earth. You know we're ascending to the new earth, guys. That's why twin souls are coming together in union. Twin souls are coming together in union because of the power they hold when they come into union, which is the exact reason that they had to split in the first place, to keep that power apart. As they come into union at this time and place, we are in a time-space reality right now that is leading edge, guys. What's happening is amazing. Okay, that's why if you're on a twin journey, that's why you're coming into union with your twin. It's not a fairy tale. It's literally about the earth and being a light worker and what's happening here. Hey, Jai, I was just telling them how I
Okay, so as you heard, um, this particular journey of the divine masculine and divine feminine is a prophecy hidden within the tarot. I didn't know about this. I don't know much about tarot. Some people debate whether this is a wand or a scroll. I know nothing about that either. What I will say is that what Jason just shared is the reason why it looks to the divine feminine that she's, quote, doing all the work or feels so hard for her. Um, but he just gets to, go off with his karmic or indulge toxic patterns. That's actually not true. So now I'm going to tell you exactly what was told to me, and the way that it was explained to me when I downloaded this, or I didn't download it, it was kind of downloaded into me. Um, so what I'm about to share with you also really awakened me to the other side of my own struggles as a divine feminine, because as one soul in two bodies, uh, the divine masculine has half of the experience and the divine feminine has the other half. Again, if you're in a same-sex couple, just take the energy as it applies to you in the relationship. But I will be using divine masculine and referring to him and his, and divine feminine referring to her, and she. So, as Jason explained, the divine masculine has the tools to bring something out of the ether and into the world, the ability essentially to manifest. That's why he's represented with the tools. Um, and that the role of the divine feminine is to be knowledgeable of the way. It's her job to know what needs to happen. Um, and to be able to create the vibration, the energetic field for something to come forward. The feminine ends up going through a lot of feelings as she holds that vibration of love and truth for both parts of the split soul, the twin flame. For the divine feminine, it can feel like she's doing all of the emotional hard work, but the reality is she's not. The divine feminine's job is to know the path toward unconditional love, find her way toward it, stay in it, and vibrate it. The divine feminine provides guidance that calls her masculine home through her own energy field. While she works the energetic world on their mission on Earth, he works the physical world until they're in union and both doing both together. The purpose of twin flames on the planet at this time, as it was revealed to me, is to bring back the vibration of unconditional love onto the planet to help raise the planetary vibration toward love. I explained this in depth in the video on my channel called The Divine Purpose of Twin Flames. It is very much tied into Dolores Cannon's work. So I'll be linking on my channel, K Moon. You can go there and you can find the link to Dolores Cannon's work and the link to this video, The Divine Purpose of Twin Flames, to be able to follow along here and get the in-depth explanation. So while the feminine is working the energy field, the masculine works the physical plane. He has the job of bearing the lower vibrational energies that have come out as unloving behaviors on the planet and transforming them in his own body and life for the rest of the world as an energetic template. His job is to carry the burden of all the toxic patterns around masculinity that have caused our planet to move away from a vibration of unconditional love. In order to do this, the divine masculine has to step into these patterns. He literally has to live them and embody them. He has to go through the damage they cause and then find his way out as he resolves them. This is what transmutation is. This is technically what being a magician is about. This is very hard for a divine masculine, because as a divine masculine, he cannot shut down to love. He can't dampen or mute it in any permanent way, as many men on the planet have been taught to do. So, know that this journey is just as hard for the divine masculine. By stepping into the negative patterns on the planet surrounding masculinity and working his way back to unconditional love from those patterns, he's not only a visual example, but because we're all vibrational beings, he acts as a resonant node at that of that change for everyone he comes in contact with on the planet. giving those beings access to the energetic codes and the blueprint that makes change possible within their own physical being and lives. The same way hearing beautiful music, seeing harmony and beauty in art, or being around very happy people can make us feel better and then thus give us a different mindset, allowing us to make new choices. Simply being in the presence of a transformed divine masculine energetic field changes the vibration of every single man he comes into contact with. To step inside of those patterns that of masculinity that have been damaging to our planet. And we're talking addictions to sex, drugs, work, gambling, misogyny, devaluation of the feminine body, the feminine spirit, the degradation of innocence, and in some cases, a complete denigration and denial of love. This is painfully hard to do. As a divine masculine being, he has to partially shut down to do this, because to be fully awake to his soul and to you while doing this would kill him. If he was conscious of the pain these behaviors and choices cause at the time he needed to embody these patterns, his soul wouldn't fully survive. And what they kind of showed me and explained to me was a picture of a corrupted soul. It would corrupt him. The divine masculine's work, therefore, is to start inside those patterns, slowly awaken, and change it in his body and life for his family, his friends, and ultimately the world. The feminine, on the other hand, her job is to hold the light, hold the vibration of unconditional love in her hands. Her job is to stay open, to let go, and let him, while self-loving her way through it. I really want to be clear that this doesn't mean tolerating painful or abusive behavior from the divine masculine. In fact, it means the exact opposite. This means calling him out in self-loving and unconditionally loving ways. This means creating loving boundaries for herself and her children that ensure that they don't fall into the patterns the divine masculine has to embody in order to transmute those patterns and come back to unconditional love. This also means, and this piece is really critical, they explained to me that this also means not giving up on him. This is the only way the divine masculine can find his way back home from the partially asleep state that embodying these patterns requires. She has to stay in a place of unconditional love and self-love for both of them. Because if she's feeling it, he will too, as twins are actually one soul. They just happen to have two different bodies. So notice on the tarot card, as Jason pointed out, the feminine is seated while the masculine stands. Her job is to witness the work, to be able to channel and see what's needed in the name of unconditional love, self-love, and do those things. But because the knowing is the job of the feminine, it can appear that she's the one suffering the most while he just gets to indulge what everyone likes to call toxic behavior. I want to repeat that this isn't actually true. The divine masculine has to feel the pain of the 3D separation from the divine feminine and do the physical transformation at the same time, all while holding partial consciousness to his full power as a divine masculine. That's a lot. Why does he have to do it this way? Because this is the way every other male energy on the planet will have to do it. How can he be an energetic template and blueprint if he hasn't gone through every bit of what unhealthy men on our planet will need to go through themselves? For the feminine, our job is not to step into the masculine energy and do it for him or to do it with him. Our job isn't even to tell him what to do. Our job is to simply self-love in his presence, in part by standing up for our needs. You need him to stop doing something that's hurting you? Tell him in the most loving way possible. But do not close your heart to him. Stay connected to your needs and loving to yourself, because that's his inner roadmap to doing his part of bringing unconditional love back to the planet and ultimately finding his way back to you. Know that the connection with you is motivating to him in a very, very big way. It's the one place where he can feel whole, at home, at peace, and remember what it's like to be a reflection of Source. If he hasn't come home yet, it's because the pattern hasn't fully been transmuted yet. There is no mechanism in his programming to skip the work and just do what feels good and come back home to you. Just like there's no mechanism in your programming as a divine feminine to stop loving him. So let him do his work while you do yours. Our job as divine feminines is to flood the connection with as much self love as possible, because ultimately what happens inside here is also happening over there. If we self love, he'll find his way out of self loathing, self defeating behaviors. He'll find his way back to self love and find his way back to you. Because ultimately, as twins, we're really just one soul in two bodies.